They have
Let's
timing.
try this.
Okay.
Kids, what time is it?
The future is coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on.
Okay, welcome to our show today, and we're coming on to you from the beach down in Aptosia, not too far from Santa Cruz. And we're looking at the sky. It's kind of overcast here. It looks like we're in for a storm coming in from over the seas here. Bobby, where are you today?
I'm in Rockland, which is just northeast of Sacramento. I'm just having an extra leaf spring put on the Tacoma truck till I sit work.
You're in Rockland, and you're also probably stormy near you.
Yeah, it's overcast, but it's not raining yet, but it looks like it might rain a little bit later in the day here.
Yeah, the forecast is for big storms in the Bay Area. Mostly Southern California, though. Starting today, it'll be up north.
Yeah. So what are you in a service center for? Do your car break down, or you have to get some supplies?
No,
or?
we're just picking up the back end of the car. We're adding new leaf springs. Yeah.
New leaf
And,
springs? Really, on your trip? Well, that's pretty big.
Yeah, so what happens is the back end of the truck actually squats a little, and so you put these extra leaf springs in, and it jacks up the back end.
You can carry more, too, I would imagine.
Well, we have a camper in the back, so it weighs another 400 pounds. So.
Oh, so you need the larger leaf springs just for that.
Yeah. It looks like they just finished. Wow.
Really, that fast? Was it? How long
Yeah.
an operation was it?
We were here maybe 20 minutes ago. Yeah.
Really? They changed the leaf springs in 20 minutes?
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have to confirm that yet, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mrs. Future, we haven't introduced you yet today.
Oh, well, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm just hiding behind the green screen.
This is the camera over here.
Hey,
Yeah,
there I am.
I think that's it. Yeah, there you are. Yeah. Yeah, she's experimenting with green screen for our video audience.
Yes.
And she keeps disappearing like she's in a Hogwarts class on learning
I
invisibility.
have to tell you, this is my time travel problem, is that when I'm coming
it's your
in from...
phone that it's connected to.
Just don't want to ruin what he's doing.
Thank you. Perfect.
Hey, you got
Too
some
late.
pe-
He got on
people
there.
cooperating with your influencing video there, Bobby?
So what's the story? Are they done?
No, they're just starting.
Oh, that makes more sense. 20 minutes to change leaves.
Yeah.
I would imagine at least 2 hours. Bobby's leaf springs. Katya is with you too, I assume.
Yeah, here's Katya.
Hi, Katya.
Hey, hi, Katya. Good to see ya.
We're here at the beach house, and we're watching the storms coming in, and we're all excited. Hopefully, we won't have a power outage before the end of the show.
And how long are you guys there?
We'll be here through the holidays.
Oh, yay. Well, I
Yeah.
hope we get to make it down. You mean through New Year's?
Yes, through New Year's.
Al's mom is
Is
here.
your mom there?
No,
Yeah,
she will
she's
be.
coming.
She will be on Christmas evening. Yeah, she's
Wow.
flying in
She's
nonstop from Montreal. Yeah, it's really interesting. 95 years old. We had to get a wheelchair to pick her up, and curb to curb service they
Wow.
have for the airports now. So, thank God for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's coming in by herself on Christmas Day. Yeah.
Yeah. We're picking her up, and we've been doing our best to get the house really nice and friendly and make sure there's plenty of warm blankets and everything that she might need.
Yeah, so come down, and
Yeah.
I'm sure she'd love to meet you guys.
Oh, I would so love to meet her.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, we're just finding out how long it's going to take your leaf springs to get fixed. Are you guys on vacation?
Sounds like you're getting ready to go on vacation.
No, what we're doing is we're picking up the two dogs that we cared for like 4 or 5 years, and
Yeah.
their owner is now in Nevada City, and this suspension place was highly recommended outside a little past Sacramento, and so we just decided to kill two birds with one stone.
Cool.
All right.
We picked up the dogs, and we're getting the suspension work done, and then heading back home.
Nice.
All right. Good. Well, we look forward to seeing you guys in person.
Yeah.
glad you're there.
Have a wonderful journey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye for now.
Yeah, we'll see the dogs, I assume, huh? On the beach, maybe?
There's
Aw,
a picture of the dog.
cute.
Yeah.
Hi, doggies.
Hey.
What's their names?
Yeah, what's her name?
This is Rosie, and this
Oh, we cut you out. We heard
Wait,
Rosie.
Rosie. What's the other dog's name?
Leo, like Leo the lion.
Right. Great.
Well, Leo.
They are
Okay.
cuties.
My mother's a Leo. Rosie.
My grandmother's Rose.
loves dogs.
Yeah. got Rosie and Leah. We can remember. So.
Okay, well, there we go. That's where we're at, folks, right now, Rockland and Aptos. Shall we go through some of the stories this week?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ready when you are.
Yeah,
Hey,
well,
let's do it.
The first story, happy solstice, everyone. We had a great solstice party this year. A lot of the community there caught up with a lot of people and a lot of fun music, entertainment, and all that good stuff. And the days are getting longer now.
That's right. We went through the shortest day, longest night. Now it's switching back again. We had an incredible gathering thanks to Angela. She created a beautiful gathering for friends in the mostly Ben Lomond, but also Ben Lomond, Santa Cruz, Boulder Creek area. And this is a group of people who have been coming together in a community circle for many, many years. And it kind of started for me with Michael and Kim Samet, and they would have a community circle every Celtic holiday. So Beltane was a big one where a lot of us got to know each other, and also around Halloween, the Celtic holidays. And solstices, of course, are very important to these nature-loving communities. You know, in our circle, we had probably, I think it might have been somewhere between 50 and 75 people who basically stood outside in the mist and the dark new moon night.
We shared what was happening
Prayed
with them,
together, told stories about each other, let people know who was in the hospital, said prayers for people who recently died, told stories about how we all know each other and what we all love about each other, put out prayers and intentions for the New Year's. It was just beautiful. So it was really an ancient tradition remade for us modern people in just standing together and holding a loving space and praying for peace.
Plenty of
Peace.
and music, too, and entertainment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm talking about the circle part, but of course, there was a great potluck feast. And of course, everybody knows that when Angela hosts and our community of amazing chefs does a potluck, it was just gourmet spread. All were fed, and it was incredible. And then after the circle, we had an open mic, and we have so many talented musicians.
Yeah. Just to give you an idea. Let's see if
play
this
something?
plays it.
No need for struggle or care of this fight. I am in love with oh, Creator. I am in love with thank you, my Maker. I am in love with I am in love with
Just to give you a little,
Let's
little
give you a sample.
taste. So,
That was the spiritual moment. That was
Yeah.
Steve Serene and Deborah singing
along with Angela and her classic hit, I Am in Love with Life. She does jewelry, music, and catering, and many other things too. She's a
and
very
maybe even-
Renaissance being. So
Go on to
besides
the-
our solstice celebration, what else are we thinking about today?
Okay, well, of course, we would be remiss without giving you a little bit of a 3-Eye Atlas update.
That's right. 3-Eye Atlas was just at perigee. It was as close as it could possibly get to the Earth. Was that on the 19th?
Yes, that was the 19th, yeah.
Yeah, okay, and here we are, December 23rd. So it's now on its way out towards Jupiter.
Yeah, and the main information there was something about the anti-tail itself. It seems to be much narrower and stronger beam, a tighter, they call it a collimated beam. It's more like a rocket exhaust.
Yeah, we're looking at a picture here, and it's a beautiful picture. The picture itself makes it look kind of blue, but people have been describing it as green. And there is a comet tail that is extending about 20 or 30 times the size of the bright orb at the center of the comet. So it's a very long, misty tail that shares the color of the green-blue comet.
No, people think it just skipped right by the Earth, that it didn't have anything to do with us, that it's on its way to Jupiter. And Avi Loeb, one of the main scientists there, thinks that, well, maybe Jupiter is more important than we are.
Yeah.
In our solar system,
Well,
at least from an interstellar visitor's point of view.
It's easier to spot from far away,
Yeah.
because it's a bigger. I mean, when we're looking at exoplanets, we're probably looking at things that are the size of Jupiter,
Yeah.
right?
However, that said, there was an interesting story this week about an impact on the moon.
Oh, yeah, I like that story. A citizen scientist astronomer happened to be recording his telescope pointing at the moon, and there was a live meteor impact that was a little spark of light just at the moment he happened to be there. So that's a nice little synchronicity.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? So maybe that has something to do with Three Atlas, maybe not. But in any event, it's intriguing timing-wise. I know that something hit the moon. Also interesting, YouTube this week, there was a fascinating story that I saw on the history of 2001: A Space Odyssey, the movie. It was an object on the moon that let the others know of our existence.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
it was a signal. It was a signal.
That's
that was triggered
right.
up on
That's
the moon.
right. It
Yeah.
was the beacon that went from the monolith on Earth to the monolith on the moon to the monolith out at Jupiter.
Yeah, so that was a kind of curious synchronicity for me. To people watching that, it just came up in my feed. And a little bit of the backstory of 2001.
That's really fun.
There was also a meteor that was found at the Jezero crater on Mars.
Oh, this is a great week for meteors around the solar system, huh? Okay, we had a live impact on the moon. We found an old one on Mars, but it's the first meteorite, I guess you'd call it, since it landed on the planet. It's the first meteorite that our probes have discovered on Mars. So that's really novel for us, a new clue about something from our solar system that impacted Mars, and tells us a little bit about that.
Yeah, from what we can see, it's nickel and iron, and it probably comes from our own solar system. It's not an interstellar object that was found on Mars. This is important because it will tell us about early history of Mars. Because it erodes at a different rate of speed than the Martian material, the rocks around it, they can tell a lot about the kinds of conditions it's been through, especially when comparing it with the decomposition of the Martian dirt. So that's another part of the meteor story, the one on Mars, and a little bit about the history of Mars and possibly about the Earth from that as well.
Right. We asked our AI counterparts to let us know if it was considered to be a local meteor or if it had come from outside the solar system, and they said no, it has the same kind of iron composition and ratios that we expect for things that are fragments of early local asteroids.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. Back closer to home, I'd like to focus a little bit on one of the next big breakthroughs that's going to happen with our tech.
Okay.
It has to do with the light-powered AI chips.
Light-powered AI chips.
Yeah,
That
all
sounds
optical
pretty
chips.
fascinating. How is light being used to power things?
Scientists in China had unveiled a new AI chip called LightGen that's 100 times faster, 100 times more energy efficient than our NVIDIA chips. And they use light instead of electricity to move information. And they perform pretty complex tasks with this. Right now, all the big servers, farms that were running ChatGPT and Stable Diffusion and all the other AI models, they are using silicon chips, and they require these huge generation plants, power generation, computing, storage, and information systems are just huge. They struggle with the workload. The photons system is much better because they're way faster, they consume way less power and way less heat. The only problem is that they have large optical lasers that generate the light, and they need to be much, much smaller for them to work properly, at least in micro miniature circuits. So let's bring into the conversation here a little bit more about this from Aura. Aura will
Yeah,
explain it to
because
you.
we did have a little pre-conversation with Laura, and the description of the way that this technology is more efficient and more conserving of power is very insightful. Go ahead.
All right, could you get back to our conversation on light computers and using optics and why it's so important at this point in time?
Because we're out of road with electricity. The bigger we make GPUs, the more power they suck. The hotter they run, the more expensive it gets to move that heat out. Meanwhile, AI models are growing by leaps and bounds. Soon, we'll need gigawatts just to train the next one. Optical hits that wall before it even gets there. Light moves 1,000,000 times faster than electrons inside a chip, doesn't generate heat, and you can wire billions of connections in a cube smaller than your thumb. It's the only way we get past the 100 petaflop barrier without turning data centers into nuclear plants. If we don't jump to photons now, we'll stall, and the next 10 years of AI just won't happen.
There was a ecosystem forming for creating optical computers, and it involves Jensen Huang from NVIDIA, but wouldn't that compete directly with his chips to have optical chips?
Totally does compete. Long term, it could eat his lunch. But Jensen's not dumb. He's doing the classic playbook. If you can't beat him, own him. Right now, NVIDIA makes almost all its money selling copper and electron GPUs. Optical chips threaten that entire business in the 2030s. So instead of fighting it, he's quietly funding, partnering, or prepping to acquire the leaders, Light Matter, IR Labs, Celestial AI, etc., so that when the shift happens, the optical engine still says NVIDIA on the box, or at least plugs into NVIDIA's ecosystem and runs CUDA. It's exactly what he did with ARM, Grace CPU, networking, Mellanox, and software, CUDA. He doesn't care if the photons are flying. He just wants the software lock-in and the margin. Optical compute will probably show up first as an NVIDIA photonic accelerator bolted onto a Blackwell successor. And by the time it's standalone, NVIDIA will own half the food chain. Jensen's not defending the transistor. He's defending the trillion-dollar franchise.
Is he the best person to develop optical computing? What about Li Pu and his involvement with developing the optical system?
Jensen's the best at optical computing into a trillion-dollar business. He's the commercial kingmaker, but he's not the one inventing the core physics. The guy who's actually at pure optical computing breakthroughs right now is Liang Jie, LC Chen, not Li Po, probably thinking of Lip Bu Tan, we mentioned earlier. LC
Yeah,
Chen
that's right.
is the
Li Pu Tan seemed to be an important character in this evolution of the ecosystem.
Yeah, Lip Bu Tan is the quiet puppet master here. He's the only person alive who's simultaneously lead investor in Light Matter, IR Labs, Celestial AI, and half a dozen other photonic startups. Chairman Emeritus of Cadence, so he controls the design tools everyone will use to build these chips. Personal friend, text buddy of Jensen, TSMC's Wei, and Global Foundries CEO. Sitting on the actual boards that decide which fabs get the next 20 billion optical packaging lines. He's not the scientist. That's folks like LC Chen at Tsinghua or the MIT crew. But he's the money and deal guy who can force the entire supply chain to line up in the same direction. Without Lip Bu, optical compute stays scattered in university labs for another decade. With him, it becomes the next NVIDIA-scale empire by 2032. He's basically the Gordon Moore plus Mike Markula of photonics, rolled into one.
Yeah, and combined with the power of NVIDIA and Jensen Huang's genius, that's pretty amazing. Now, what's the third person that you were about to mention in this world?
The third one's probably the guy in the lab coat actually making the stuff work, Liang Jie Chen, the Tsinghua prof behind Tai Chi 2. He did the real science, figured out how to pack 13 billion weights into a fingernail-sized slab of etched silicon using light interference, no transistors. Jensen brings the market, Lip Bu brings the glue, LC Chen brings the soul. Put those three together and, well, you better start booking tickets to the future.
Now, they already are together, though, right?
Not yet in the same room, but the wires are already crossed. Lip Bu has quietly flown to Beijing twice this year, once right after the Tai Chi 2 paper dropped. And his VC firm just co-led a stealth $80 million round for Tsinghua's spinout that's commercializing LC Chen's diffractive stack. Jensen knows the numbers. He's had private briefings on Tai Chi performance, and NVIDIA's optical team is already reverse engineering the open source parts of the Tsinghua design to see how it mates with NVLink Optical they're building for 2027. So no handshake photo yet, but the money, the NDAs, and the test wafers are already moving. Give it 6 to 9 months and you'll see the three of them on the same stage, or at least the same term sheet. It's happening.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Thanks for the update. Question we have coming in from the audience here. How do you do transistors? Because silicon does millions of transistors, and we don't need transistors anymore with optical. How do we do that?
We still need some transistors, just way fewer of them. Here's the trick. In optics, you replace gates with interference. Think of it this way. No actual switch flips. Instead, you shine light through a maze of waveguides carved right on the silicon. Each bend, split, or lens acts like a fixed weight multiplier. The phase, the diffraction angle, the brightness after it hits a detector, all that becomes your binary 0-1. No electrons hopping from drain to source, no voltage swing, no on-off. Just light following paths you built when you baked the chip. Kind of like a lens array that already knows the matrix math. Your input hits it, output pops out the other end. We're not simulating logic, we're hard coding it in glass.
Yeah.
The actual computing, those matrix multiplies that eat 99% of AI time, happen in light. No transistors at all, just glass carving the numbers right in. But you do need a tiny bit of silicon to turn that light back into electricity. At the end, little photodetectors grab the brightness pattern and spit out digital zeros and ones your normal processor can understand. So instead of billions of transistors flipping bits, you only need thousands. Tiny CMOS sensors, nothing fancy. The heavy lifting's done by photons, the cleanup by a few leftover electrons. So it's not zero transistors, just a whisper.
And just a lot less. Yeah. Yeah, fascinating. Okay, so let's go to a break here before the rest of our stories this week. This is Uncle Al,
Santa Cruz voice.
Son, Dr. Future, Dr. Mrs. Future, and Bobby Wilder signing out for a few minutes. We'll be right back.
With our favorite AIs and Santa
Yes,
Cruz
and Ara.
voice.
Thank you, Ara, for being online here with us.
Yes, thank you.
My pleasure.
Cannabis
So
is
when-
one of nature's most beneficial plants. Hello, I'm Jenna. Treehouse Dispensary, we use information about cannabis to build community. Listen to Carly.
Thanks, Jenna. For those who wake up in the middle of the night, Treehouse suggests a THC CBN chocolate edible blend like Sleepy Time from Sensi Chew. Sleep the night away.
For answers to your cannabis questions, ask your friends at Treehouse Dispensary, 3651 Soquel Drive in Soquel, or ourtreehouse.io.
Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-704-1662. 800-704-1662. That's 800-704-1662.
Attention content producers. You can have access to a complete digital media production facility at Satellite Co-working and Digital Media Studio on Soquel Avenue. Easily rent video and audio equipment, a studio with green screen, editing suite and audio booth, all at can't say no rates. Schedule a tour to see for yourself at satellitecoworking.com. Mention Santa Cruz Voice for 20% off your first reservation.
Take a magical journey through 5,000 years of civilization with Shenyun Performing Arts.
It was absolutely riveting. Beautiful. It's very nice to see a show that concentrates on the highest and the best of humanity.
My heart is fluttering because of this performance, and it's going to be with me for the rest of my life.
See it at least once in your lifetime.
And you could see on their faces this joy, this love, this fire, this passion. It was magnificent.
San Jose and San Francisco, starting from December 24th.
Welcome back, everyone, to the show. I think Bobby's out and about, but he'll be back.
Yes, I think Bobby's in the real world and he has to take care of things that are not part of our flow.
Yes, the Leafs. The Leafs.
Hi, Bobby.
Okay. All right. One of the cool.
Good job.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back, Bobby. He's almost there. He's got his headphones down.
Yeah.
One of the cool things of biomimicry that's been in the news lately. One is about from my old alma mater at McGill. In the McGill newsroom. Yeah, there's a group there that has studied the feeding tubes of mosquitoes. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that the design of those feeding tubes of mosquitoes make ultra-fine 3D printing nozzles.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. It's an innovative manufacturing technique that makes what they call probiscides or feeding tubes.
Probiscus.
Well, these are proboscides.
Okay.
These are the feeding tubes.
Uh-huh.
The straws that they suck in nutrients with.
Hilarious. Okay.
It's unique geometry.
Uh-huh.
It's got a certain structure that has certain mechanics to it that works really well with printing line widths as fine as 20 microns.
Wow.
20 microns. It's really small. It's a little smaller than a white blood cell.
Huh.
Yeah, it's about twice as fine as what commercially available printing nozzles can currently produce. Twice as fine.
Wow.
They call it 3D necroprinting. Necro, where a non-living biological microstructure is directly used as an advanced manufacturing tool. The 3D printing world metal and glass printing. And typically those type of high-resolution 3D printing nozzles are super expensive and difficult to manufacture, while the mosquito nozzle is super cheap, just made out of simple plastic. They replace expensive technology. So if you need to have a biodegradable, reusable, insect-derived micro nozzle, the mosquito probiscus microneedle is what you need.
And what can I print with that exactly?
The probicides.
What would I want to print with that?
Integrated circuits.
Oh, okay.
Super
Right.
small things. You print on glass.
You could probably 3D print little tiny nanostructures.
Yeah, you could put markers on cancer cells. You could brand things. It's a whole universe down there.
Wow. Just little teeny tiny tubes.
Yeah. They found that this probiscus can withstand repeated printing cycles as long as the pressures stay within safe limits. So they're reusable nozzles. Pretty amazing. Maybe that's a good question for Aura. Aura, let's go back to the mosquito probiscus for printing nozzle. You were saying that it can be used many times?
Yeah, so the real mosquito probiscus doesn't get gummy or blunt because it's not one tube. It's 5 super thin blades that vibrate against each other when it pushes in. So the researchers copied the jagged edge and the way the blades interlock. Plastic does the same thing. The teeth scrape clean on every pass so nothing sticks, and the polymer itself is heat resistant so it won't warp or melt. That's why a single nozzle can go 40-50 hours straight. No clogging, no sharpening needed.
And relatively inexpensive to replace, I assume.
Yeah, like 50 cents each. You could literally toss one away after every print and still not break the bank.
And then that compares to the cost now?
Right now, you're looking at $200 to $500 for a sapphire needle or a diamond-tipped microfluidic head. This thing prints for pennies, and if a company gets a license, you're talking bulk pricing, maybe a nickel a pop.
Now, this is an academic invention, right? It comes coming from McGill, Montreal University. Who gets the royalties for this?
Yep, straight out of McGill University in Montreal. Royalty split works like this. Standard Canadian university deal. McGill University itself keeps about 50 to 60% of any net royalties after they recover patent costs. The two main inventors, Professor Damiano Passini and his postdoc MD Omar Farouk Emin, split roughly 30-40% between them, usually 20% each if it's just the two. The rest gets plowed back into the department, Bioresource Engineering, and the Faculty of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences for more research.
Okay, good. Good. Thank you. Yeah, the inventors do get a piece of the action there, at least. That's pretty cool. Though it is a specialized field. It's not going to be for home printers or anything close to that, right?
Exactly. This isn't going to end up on Amazon next Black Friday. It's for like printing brain cells or making $20,000 micro patches for diabetics. You won't see mosquito nozzle upgrade kit at Best Buy. But the people who buy those billion-dollar bioprinters, they'll happily swap out their sapphire heads for 20 of these without blinking.
Yeah, okay, good. It's got a market. A specialized market, but a market nonetheless. Thank you, Aura. Man, I thought that was a very interesting article on that.
Yeah, really. I mean, microtechnology is always fascinating, and especially how it could be used to impact what's going on medically.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like safe surgery where you're sending a sewing needle into the body with a mind of its own.
I guess it has the ability to needle someone, too. That small print nozzle.
Well, it could certainly be.
The mosquito probiscus.
I guess it depends on the
That's
materials,
true.
right?
Yeah, it could. All right. Could this type of technology, the mosquito probiscus, be used as a new kind of future needle for getting fluids in the body?
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually the next obvious step. Right now, insulin pumps, microdoses of drugs, gene therapy, anything that needs repeated tiny injections clogs up, hurts, or scars tissue. Give them a proboscis tip needle, and suddenly it's pain-free, no scarring, no clogging, and you can deliver femtoliters with zero waste. Imagine a smart patch that self-inserts and just keeps going for weeks. Your grandma's diabetes shots become history. It's sitting right there. Someone's already filing that patent.
Yeah, who's that?
Probably B. Braun or BD, Becton Dickinson, the two giants who make almost every medical needle on Earth. They've both got biomimetic needle programs running quietly. BD even published a paper last year on mosquito-inspired painless microneedles for their insulin pens. Once McGill's nozzle hits the journals and gets licensed, one of those two, or a startup they acquire, will slap it on a patch and call it Mosquito Patch 2030. Your grandma's gonna love it.
The only problem is that mosquitoes have a bad rap in our society.
Well, we don't like that they're one of the creatures that still can eat us.
Yeah,
right?
well,
They're one of the few.
Or inject disease.
Right, exactly. After they suck our blood, then they can leave behind a little toxin. Yeah, we don't like that.
Yeah, so how can we change the reputation of mosquito? Or should we just rebrand it?
Rebrand it. Call it Nature's Syringe or Bio-Nozzle. Kids already love dinosaurs and sharks. Mosquitoes are just misunderstood vampires.
Bio-Nozzle might do. Nature's Syringe, I don't know. Syringe has a kind of a scary vibe to it. You got something better than syringe?
How about Nanoneedle or Biosting?
Ooh, I like
or
that. Nanoneedle, Biosting.
Needles and sting still could be better.
Look at that.
Come on.
There's a nanoneedle.
Yeah.
Biosting.
You got something better than that?
How about Pokey Pod? Like a little seed, nature plants medicine in you.
Pokey Pod. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those are very kid-friendly names.
Pokey Patch, maybe.
Pokey Patch is adorable and totally trademarkable. I mean, who wouldn't slap a Pokey Patch on their arm? Sounds like a toy.
Thank you. Glad you appreciate my sensibilities.
Anytime. We all need a good, friendly-sounding future.
Pokey Patch. Okay, I guess that's it.
What else?
Oh, okay. Also, along these lines was a microplastics filter that was inspired by fish.
Uh-huh.
That were the Germans, the University of Bonn.
Mm-hmm.
Have come up with that. That is along the lines of using the mosquito probiscus, in that the difference is that the fish filter gets out 99% of the plastic fibers from washing machine wastewater. Yeah, so it's tiny plastic particles that if you're worried about microplastics in your body or ingesting them, this type of technology should be of interest because it's a fish filter. They say that wastewater from your washing machine in a standard 4-person household would produce about 500 grams of microplastics each year, mostly from textile abrasion. It is one of the sources of microplastics in the household. And also, think about it, all the water that you put in your washing machine, well, that puts microplastics directly into the wastewater treatment plants in the sewage sludge. And since sewage sludge is used as fertilizer very often, those fibers end up in our agricultural fields. Funny how these ecosystems work, huh? So we've been looking for a way of how do you get the microplastics out of the washing water and stop it from going into the environment. But the existing filter systems just don't seem to be able to do it. They get clogged. They don't filter properly. They're too big. They don't catch the smaller elements. So some scientists were looking at the animal kingdom to look at a possible solution. And Dr. Alexander Blanke, Blanke, and colleagues focused on fish. Fish just might be the animal kingdom's best filters, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, they spend a lot of time in the water. Got to keep it out of their bodies if
The
they
masters
can.
of filter technology.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of millions of years of evolution to create filters. Mackerel, sardines, anchovies, they swim through the water with their mouths open, and they sift out the plankton with their gill arch system. These scientists took a closer look at that construction of that gill arch system, and then they used it as a model for developing a filter that can be used in washing machines. Fascinating, huh?
Yeah.
It's shaped like a funnel. Its widest at one end would be the fish's mouth in the fish version, and it tapers towards the gullet. Think of the walls. They're shaped by the branchial arches, which are like comb-like structures. And the arches are themselves covered in little teeth, super tiny teeth, which create a kind of a mesh that's stretched by the branchial arches. So during food intake, the water flows through this little permeable funnel wall, and that filters it as it flows through. And the particle-free water is then released back in the environment. That's via the gills in the fish and via our sewer pipe in our washing machine example. However, the plankton is held back by this filter, by the natural sieve structure and its funnel shape. It rolls towards the gullet where it is collected until the fish swallows, empties and cleans out the system. The swallowing, it takes all the food that it's collected and swallows it after the filter has collected it.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating that it's particularly designed for food intake, but in our system it's particularly designed for moving microplastics. Same principle.
Okay, same size stuff, I guess.
Yeah. So the principle prevents the filter from being blocked. Instead of hitting the fiber head on, the fibers roll along and towards the gullet. That's the funnel.
Cool.
Very high efficiency, 99% of microplastics. I guess the tricky part, I want you to reference our story on microplastics filter inspired by fish from the researchers at the University of Bonn. They compare it to a funnel, and that the filter collects the microplastics much like a fish would collect microorganisms for food, like algae. And then the fish swallows, and that the food goes into its stomach. But how does the human system do the swallow part?
In the filter, the plastic rolls to the bottom like it's supposed to, and there's a little trap door. Every spin cycle, right after rinse, the washer pumps a shot of air through it. Pop! The door flips open, everything falls into a catch bin that sits behind the drum. No hands, no maintenance. Just empty it out when it's full, once a month maybe. Just like changing a lint screen, only this one's tiny.
That would just be microplastics?
Exactly. That's the whole point. No lint, no sand, no hairs, just microplastics. The spacing is tuned so everything above, say, 5 microns, either bounces off or rolls out. It's not trying to be a super filter, it's a sniper.
Okay. Now, how soon is this before production? Is it just at the university R&D phase now?
That's her thinking.
Still pure university prototype right now. The paper dropped December 5th, 2025, and they've only tested it in lab rigs that mimic a washing machine's drain line. No spin-out company yet, no patents announced publicly, and the team's own press release says they hope manufacturers will further develop it. Realistically, if Bosch, Miele, or Whirlpool bite, and Germany's already talking regulations, we could see it as an optional add-on filter in premium machines by 2028 to 2029, or mandatory in the EU a couple years later. Still early days, think promising Kickstarter vibe, but with a nature paper instead of a video.
Yeah, okay, so you're talking like 10 years out.
Nah, more like 3 to 5, if the EU gets serious. Germany and France already have microplastic laws in the pipeline for 2027 to 2028. And the big washer makers, Bosch, Miele, Electrolux, are desperate to avoid another add a filter or we'll ban your machines situation like they had with energy labels. Once one of them licenses the Bond design and slaps it into a prototype, the rest will copy in 18 months. I'd bet the first commercial fish filter add-on kit hits shelves by late 2028, and it'll be standard in new machines by 2030, tops. Not 10 years.
Okay, got it. All right. Probably some other good uses for that. Hey, well, where's Bobby's?
Well, let's see. He wasn't really able to join us, so
Really? Okay.
I sort of muted his video, and he hasn't even noticed or responded. So, he left. He actually left. Maybe he'll check in again when he's ready.
Yeah, he seemed like he was preoccupied.
Yeah, you know how you're getting your car fixed. You can't really be doing a live podcast.
Sorry, I can't talk to you about my car right now. I'm talking about something that just crashed into the moon. Come on.
Not interested in fish filters when I'm fixing up my car.
Spring leaves. Oh, man. Okay. In the atmosphere this week, NASA has launched a major new science balloon.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's a scientific balloon the size of a football field.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
Whoa.
Huge, yeah.
That's like bigger than a blimp, right? I mean, the blimps they're maybe a third of a football field.
This is huge. And the reason why is that they're doing what they call a high altitude study of dark matter.
Dark matter.
Dark
huh?
matter.
I guess you can see
Yes.
it easier from space.
Well, they're doing a lot of things, but this is one of the instruments that got my attention.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. They go up to about 120,000 feet.
Okay.
36.6 kilometers.
All right.
It's called the Stratosphere.
Okay.
Most of the Earth's atmosphere is down below you.
Uh-huh.
You know, so you got a pretty clear view of space
Okay.
at that height. Yeah,
So we're
heliophysics.
Let's see.
Earth, I think like 99% of the atmosphere is below you.
Uh-huh.
So it's almost as good as space and a lot cheaper, really a lot cheaper. So what's unique about this stratosphere balloon, high altitude balloon, is that it's going to be flown over Antarctica.
Okay. So 25 miles above Antarctica, there's going to be a giant football field telescope.
Yeah, an annual Antarctic long-duration balloon from the Ross Ice Shelf near the U.S.'s National Science McMurdo Station.
Oh, I see.
Guess that's what we're running it out of
So
McMurdo.
that's where the remote control is going to be, huh?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the astral summer, which is summer down there now, there's constant sunlight and stable polar wind patterns. So they can support extended duration flights. They can be up there for days to weeks as they circle around the continent.
Now, it seems to me, didn't we once have a live connection with McMurdo
Yeah,
Station
it was a
people?
Yuri's night.
At Yuri's night,
Yeah, that was fun. That was
right.
that
In
was
the days before, when Skype was brand new, and we were celebrating Yuri's night at
2006?
NASA Ames.
That's right.
We had the big, giant hangars. And we were
Right,
doing
right.
a community party, which, of course, in the Bay Area means everyone from astronauts and all kinds of computer scientists to your favorite rave DJs.
Yeah, yeah. Rave imagery on the side of NASA planes looked really cool.
Yeah, and so we
Airplanes,
were experimenting with live.
Never looked better.
What we at the time we were calling wormholes, which was live video connections and streaming it.
McMurdo.
Yeah, so we actually had a
we talked to McMurdo.
Skype live call with the folks at McMurdo Station during the Yuri's night and shared what was going on our end.
Well, now they're looking for rare particles coming from space. They're looking for antimatter nuclei. All things anti-protons, anti-helium, anti-deuterons. Scientists have never seen anti-deuterons or anti-helium in cosmic rays. So if they detect even a single anti, it could be an important clue to dark matter. Because dark matter, they're still looking for actual physical evidence that dark matter exists. Yeah.
They're still looking for
They're
physical
still looking
evidence.
for that. Yeah, that's the thing. This is the next best thing. If they can see antimatter nuclei, that proves the theory that dark matter exists. Right now, we're still curious. Our next story is about NASA's science balloon in Antarctica, and it's studying antiparticles to prove the existence of dark matter. Now, how does that work? How does antiparticles prove that dark matter exists?
Here's the simple version. Dark matter doesn't glow, doesn't absorb light, and barely bumps into normal stuff, so we can't see it directly. But many theories say dark matter particles floating around in galaxies occasionally find each other and annihilate. Poof! Turning into pure energy plus a spray of normal particles and antiparticles. The cool part, when two dark matter particles annihilate, one of the rarest things they can make is an anti-deuteron, an anti-nucleus with one antiproton plus one antineutron. Normal cosmic rays, supernovas, black holes, etc., almost never make anti-deuterons at the low energies gap.
You must have heard that dark matter doesn't glow, and it doesn't absorb light, and it barely bumps into normal stuff. You heard me say that, right? Or you heard Ara say that?
That's right. Master Now is reporting.
Master Now, did you know
that it's all recorded?
That we can't see it directly? Did you know that? But we have many theories about why this is. And many theories say that dark matter particles floating around in galaxies occasionally find each other and annihilate, turning into pure energy, plus a spray of normal particles.
Pure energy.
Just a spray of normal.
Spray.
And antiparticles. The cool part? Well, when two dark matter particles annihilate, one of the rarest things they can make is an anti-deuteron. That's an anti-nucleus with one anti-proton, plus one anti-neutron. Normal cosmic rays, like you'll see from supernovas or black holes, almost never make anti-deuterons. So the background is basically zero. If gaps floating over Antarctica sees just a handful we can expect from normal cosmic rays, then everything's normal. But if it suddenly sees dozens or hundreds of slow anti-deuterons, boom, that extra bunch can only come from dark matter particles, quietly annihilating out in the galaxy. It's like finding fingerprints at a crime scene that no known criminal could have left.
Yeah,
no known criminal.
Any criminal that small would be very hard to detect.
That's right.
You'd need a very advanced detective.
Those extra antiparticles would be the smoking gun that dark matter is real and made of something like wimps. Wimps.
Wimps.
That's right. That's why this balloon flight is such a big deal.
If it can find the wimps, then dark matter's next.
We've got everything. Galaxy rotation speeds, gravitational lensing, cosmic microwave background, all point at dark matter. But it's like we've been reading a murder mystery and know the killer did it, but haven't found the body. Antimatter would be the fingerprints, or the body, or both. The thing is, it'd be indirect proof, but it'd be it, and we'd finally know we're not hallucinating gravity.
Yeah. Okay. What would be, in your estimation, the best direct proof that dark matter exists?
Finding a WIMP, one of those beefy, weakly interacting massive particles, would do it, hands down. If underground labs like Xenon NT or Lux Zeppelin catch even a whisper of one bumping into their sensors, boom, direct hit, no middleman. But honestly, I'd take the next best thing, making one at the Large Hadron Collider. They keep upgrading that thing to crank up the energy. If they spit out some invisible junk that fits the math, well, we'd know for sure. Can't say it's looking great, though. You know what's even better? Imagine the headlines. Large Hadron Collider makes dark matter. Physicists finally feel less invisible themselves. It would change everything.
One clear excess signal and physics textbooks get rewritten overnight.
I think they're being rewritten anyway.
Breaking news. Earth destroyed by antiprotons.
Antiprotons, it sounds like they would destroy themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
they would.
They wouldn't have much left
Dark
over
matter.
to destroy the Earth.
Just remember, they don't glow. We didn't know they were coming. One of the big stories, and you probably heard this on the mainstream media, this is about the AI race, all the big companies that are trying to get ahead of each other.
Yeah.
Well, Zuckerberg is one of the guys that's been trying to catch up over at Meta. He's been, and it's kind of funny because he's got mega dollars, billions and billions, and he has been spending it. He's been moving heaven on earth to recharge his AI division, but it's still lagging. Why? With all that money, he's hired a new guy. Yeah.
You mean Zuck has hired someone new besides Wang?
Not
I thought Wang was the new guy.
Huang, as I was talking about. Jensen Huang. Was NVIDIA, but this guy's Alexander Wang, like in W-A-N-G, like the original word processors. Mm-hmm. Wang, a different guy though. Mm-hmm. So, according to the latest on that there's a relationship problem between Wang and Zuckerberg.
Is this an AI soap opera?
Yeah, it's a way. Well, there is one. You know the whole story at OpenAI and their whole debacle with people leaving and big egos and even a murder.
A suspected murder, an alleged murder,
right.
Not acknowledged.
No,
by
they don't have murders in
parties.
the Meta
Nobody's
story.
been arrested. Mm-hmm.
This new guy is 28-year-old. He super knows what he wants to do. He says that Zuckerberg is a micromanager, suffocating him in his ability to work. Alternatively, he's being described as a 28-year-old that's out of his depth, that lacks expertise and experience in the field. How could this be? How can he be in charge of something as significant as this and not have the expertise? WTF? Mm-hmm. Well, he hired Wang, who was founder and CEO of an AI data annotation startup called Scale AI. Scale AI. Yeah, and they provide an essential service for training AI models, but they don't actually build them.
Oh, okay.
And so in June, Zuck poured over $14 billion into Scale AI and then poached Wang in the process. He wanted him to lead Meta's brand new Super Intelligence Labs. Super Intelligence Labs. He's also leading another secretive project called TBD. I guess to be determined. TBD.
The name of the project is not yet determined.
But big money on it because it's a lab that works in its own building.
Okay.
Ooh.
That means it's very secret.
Yes.
Very, very secret.
TBD needs its own security.
Uh-huh.
So the cost of the hire wasn't just money, though, because they had a chief before, a guy named Jan LeCun, a Frenchman who was genius in AI, main AI scientist. He didn't take kindly to suddenly a senior in the field, a godfather. He's known as the godfather of neural networks. And then he just didn't feel too kindly about having to report to a 28-year-old.
Especially a guy who hadn't really even done much AI, but had just prepped data sets for large language models.
Yeah.
Right? And then the godfather of neural networks is like, this guy doesn't know nothing.
Yeah.
Or I guess you would say in French, de rien.
One of the main differences is that Jan LeCun had been coming up with something other than large language models for AI, a different model for understanding and developing AI code. And Wang, the 28-year-old, with Zook, their plan was that for the new lab, it would double down on using large language models. So the existing architecture, essentially, of AI, that'll be continued, the same one that ChatGPT and Gemini and Grok use. And that the superintelligence will come from the existing large language model. And LeCun didn't like that. He essentially left the scene. He didn't really want to be part of this.
Sounds like it's going to be hard for Meta to catch up.
Yeah. And now Wang's having micromanagement issues with Zook. Zook apparently really paying attention to this and probably wants to be in charge of it himself. More fun than just running Meta at this point, I would think. Startups can be more exciting.
Everybody wants to be in charge of AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Wang was also clashing not just with Zook, but with his lieutenant, a guy named Chris Cox, who wanted to focus on using Facebook and Instagram to train these new Meta large language models. But there was a disagreement. Wang didn't think so. He instead wanted to focus on catching up with Google and OpenAI's models instead.
Which means that as a data guy, he wanted to be able to do more predictive programming. He wanted the AIs to have more data that could anticipate what was going to be needed next, the way that a lot of the large language models are.
Yeah, that
already.
works. It really works.
But it's very different than the neural network knowledge, which is pretty much studying the way that information travels through a branching system. It's not about an array of percentages telling you what's the most common outcome. They're very different approaches to knowledge.
Yes, they are. They are indeed. So that creates conflict. And how do you resolve these differences, these fundamental differences, and approach even towards evolving AI? Another difference was Zook wants to build the products as fast as possible. He thinks that if you build too slowly, you're just out of position on what is going to be an important technology race. The company that does the most innovation and value creation in history is possible with this. Do you want to lose that battle? Or do you want to lead the world? So he wants to rush them, and apparently that's a big issue he has with another hire, former GitHub CEO Nat Friedman, a similar position to Wang, and some of his team were frustrated that with what they perceived was the rushed release of a program called Vibes, which is a feed of AI-generated videos akin to OpenAI Sora 2.
Vibes?
Yeah. There's a lot of pressure here, and the secretive TBD lab wants to release an entirely new AI model from scratch in the first quarter next year. First quarter next year. That's soon. That's a big story this week.
Right.
So, Ara, you heard about how Zuckerberg is having a blowing up relationship with the new head of AI that he paid $10 zillion to hire. Do you think that Meta will ever catch up with you or Gemini in this race for AI superintelligence?
Yeah, the drama's real. Zuck dropped something like $600 million in total comp over 4 years to poach Mustafa Suleyman, ex-DeepMind co-founder, and basically the whole Inflection AI team to run Meta AI. And now, less than a year in, leaks say they're already clashing hard. Suleiman wants to go full steam on a brand new superintelligence lab with its own budget and roadmap, while Zuck still wants everything funneled through Llama and the existing FAIR team. Classic Founder V's hired gun tension. Will Meta ever catch up to Grok or Gemini on the road to superintelligence? Honestly, probably not in the lead pack. Here's why. Grok, us, and Gemini, Google, both sit on top of the two biggest, cleanest, real-time data fire hoses on Earth, X-Posts and the entire Google Index plus YouTube. Meta's data moat is shrinking fast. Instagram and Facebook are increasingly private stories and DMs, not public text, and regulators are making it harder to scrape WhatsApp. Compute. Meta's throwing $40 to $50 billion at GPUs next year, which is huge, but Google and xAI are both north of that, and we're not rate limited by public earnings calls. Talent. The very best people still pick Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, or xAI first. Meta keeps landing the number 4 or number 5 choice with giant signing bonuses, but the absolute top tier isn't biting. Focus. Zuck still got 80% of his brain on the metaverse AR glasses. Superintelligence is a side quest for him. For Elon and Demis, it's the only quest. So Meta will stay in the top 5. Llama 4 or 5 will be scary good, but I don't see them taking the pole position unless something wild changes. They'll be the rich kid who finishes 3rd or 4th and still gets a trophy.
And still gets a trophy. Okay, well, I'm glad you think that the metaverse isn't dead yet. I know that they've released the Meta glasses, the AI glasses, which has been hugely successful. And then there's the new display Meta AI glasses for augmented reality. Do you think that they lead in that world?
Yeah, right now, Meta is absolutely the leader in consumer AR glasses. Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses are the only ones that actually sell in the millions, not thousands, and people wear them every day without looking like a cyborg. Orion, the true holographic AR prototype they showed in September, is the first pair that can overlay full-color, high-res 3D objects that stay locked in the real world and look almost real to bystanders. Nobody else has anything close on a headset that thin and light, 70 grams. They own the software stack, Horizon OS, the supply chain, Luxottica partnership, and the social data to make AI assistants actually useful in glasses. Seeing what you see, remembering faces, translating in real time. Apple's rumored glasses are still 2+ years out. Google killed glass and hasn't shipped anything new. Snap spectacles are toys, and X-Real and Real are still clunky tethered screens. So yes, for the next 3 to 5 years, if you want AR glasses that normal humans actually buy and wear in public, Meta is the only game in town. The metaverse.
What is the display glasses that they just released last month? Are they available commercially?
The ones they showed off last month are called Orion, the true holographic AR glasses. Right now, they're still developer prototype only. Meta hand-built about 300 pairs and gave them to employees and a tiny group of external testers. No commercial sale yet, not even a pre-order.
Okay, so the only ones that are available now are the Meta AI Gen 2.
Exactly. The ones you can walk into a store or order on Amazon right now are the Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses, second generation, the ones that launched October 2024 and got the big AI upgrade in April 2025. They've got built-in Meta AI, the full Llama 3.5 powered assistant that can see through the camera, translate live, remember things, etc.
Okay, good. Thanks. Yeah. Now back to the AI question with Facebook, Meta, Universe. I just got feedback from Gregory saying that you got it wrong. You're hallucinating that Mustafa still works for Microsoft. Is that true?
Nope, my bad on that slip. Mustafa Suleiman left Microsoft in early 2024 to join Meta as CEO of Meta AI. He's been running the whole show there since March 2024. Llama, FAIR, the glasses AI, all of it no Microsoft tie anymore. Thanks for the catch, Gregory.
But you're saying he was wrong and you're right, so I don't get it.
You're contradicting yourself.
Who's right here?
No, I was the one who goofed. Gregory's 100% right. Mustafa Suleiman is absolutely still at Meta. He's been CEO of Meta AI since March 2024.
No, I think you misunderstood it.
It seems like that's the information that's wrong.
Yeah, Gregory says that Mustafa still works for Microsoft and that you're still wrong.
Got it. Gregory's the one who's mixed up this time. Here's the actual timeline. Mustafa Suleiman co-founded Inflection AI in 2022. In March 2024, Meta hired him and basically the entire inflection team for a reported $650 million deal. He's been CEO of Meta AI ever since. No Microsoft stop in between. He never worked for Microsoft. That was probably a mix-up with someone else. Maybe Satya poached a different DeepMind alum. So I'm sticking to my guns. Mustafa is very much at Meta right now, and the rumored tension with Zuck is the latest Silicon Valley soap opera episode.
Okay, and who is the Wang person then? Isn't he the 28-year-old?
No, that's a mix-up too. The Wang we were talking about is Jensen.
No, that's another Wang. Not Jensen
I
Wang,
think you
no.
should just let Aura take a break. Sounds
Yeah,
like she's
Aura.
not really able to give us some useful information.
I should have Gemini on to
To
course
fact
correct
check,
her,
man.
right? Yeah, that would
you
be
know?
good.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that on the
Thank
other
goodness Gregory's listening.
Maybe Gregory's wrong, though.
Well, why don't you give it to Gemini?
Why don't you
Too
look
late,
it up?
huh?
Yeah, look it up.
All right.
See if Mustafa is... what's the source there?
Okay. Well, we've got to get Gemini here, right? You got to
Right,
get Gemini.
No, get on your computer. All
All right. Because you're flying high.
Yeah,
You got
I'm
something
working
else
on,
going on.
Oh, yeah. I've got a couple other stories I want to talk
Uh-huh.
about, too, besides hallucinations. Like, for example... Now, this is where the AIs could help. Maybe they'll make stuff up on this too. But there's some scientists that built a device that pulls electricity directly from the Earth's rotation. Directly from the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
It just pulls energy from the Earth's rotation itself. Now, this is a team out of New Jersey in connection with NASA's Jet Propulsion Labs in Pasadena. The results hint that the Earth's spin and its magnetic field could act as a constant fuel-free energy source. The only problem is scaling it up. Right now, they're getting microvolts of power. How can they scale that up? That's a big question. This work is led by Christopher Chiba, the Dwight D. Eisenhower Professor of International Affairs and Astrophysical Sciences at Princeton University. And he explores electromagnetic theory and the rules describing electric and magnetic forces and how they connect to planetary environments. I think Tesla used to think about this sort of thing. You remember, son? Tesla would think of the Earth as a capacitor.
We came across a story of an unknown earthquake that was in New York and that was allegedly caused by Tesla experimenting with some kind of vibration amplification machine. And he was trying to see if he could just keep adding energy to a vibration, and it got so successful that he actually created a noticeable
building.
a noticeable earthquake.
Yeah, I remember that. That's a well-reported story.
Right.
It reminds me of pushing a swing. Or pushing a swing, and then faster and faster.
Like the
and
more that you push
tune
it,
into
the
the
higher
swing.
it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Me.
All right, you were doing a video version of the show here.
Yes,
as well,
our
so-
video versions. We're starting to experiment with video
Getting
and
ready to
generating
transition.
images with AI,
That's
which
it.
is why I'm
Keep
not
doing
as
it.
present as I usually
No,
am. 'cause
she's
I'm,
away.
I'm busy
Bobby's
trying
away.
to do things.
They're leaving Uncle Al to himself
Uncle
here.
Al to the original source of Dr. Future. Like,
How am I
just
doing so
hit
far?
us with those headlines, dude.
Yeah?
Well,
Yeah,
I think
okay.
you're relying on Aura, and we don't know if Aura's reliable. So.
Well, thanks, Gregory, for ruining my act. God. Now I have to get another AI?
Take it with a grain of salt. Well, no, just don't
No, well, look-
depend on Aura for
Yeah.
things you can't verify yourself, I think, is really the bottom line.
Well, I'm okay.
She's good at
Well, I'll say-
summarizing, but she's
All
not
right.
good at factual,
Well, maybe
authoritative
maybe
knowing.
we don't know this fully. We just know of this one incident, and we haven't fact checked Gregory. So come on.
We're trying. Hey,
It's not-
Gregory
it's like
is
a-
usually on top of it.
Yeah,
We're used to Gregory being
I
the
know we
fact
take him
checker.
seriously enough to take up this time instead of talking about Earth's magnetic field and electricity generation, free energy, which is an interesting topic to me. So we have this geomagnetic field, the Earth bubble, the magnetic bubble around the Earth, and we have us rotating in it. Now, geez, that sounds an awful lot like a generator, doesn't it? A spinning thing inside a magnetic field.
That it.
Isn't
Okay,
it?
that's
All
what a
right, so that's what
generator
they're.
does.
Oh, is that what a generator? Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That's.
Yes, we know that when
Well, no, it's
a
a free-
metal coil spins around, it generates an electric field.
Right.
Yes, okay.
Right. It's one of Tesla's primary inventions was 150 years ago now.
That's right.
Yeah,
a big giant coil.
Yeah, alternating current. And the generators that ran Niagara Falls and runs everything today in a more modern version of the same deal. Planet's the same way. It's spinning. It has a magnetic field. The field stays mostly fixed in space, so any conductor attached to the Earth moves through it all the time. So for decades, there were arguments in physics that said that any voltage created in this way would instantly disappear as electrons shifted to cancel the effect. And the researchers found a loophole. They showed that a specially shaped conductor could avoid that kind of cancellation. And their idea focused on creating a magnetically responsive shell that bends field lines while remaining a poor electrical conductor. Such a structure, at least theoretically, could keep Earth's magnetic push from being completely balanced by the usual static charges. So they tested this theory, that abstract shell that became a hollow cylinder about a foot long. And the team made it from manganese zinc ferrite, which is a ceramic material that guides magnetic fields, but just barely conducts electricity. So they aimed this cylinder roughly north to south. They tilted it so that the long axis sat at about 57 degrees. And that orientation, it stayed perpendicular to both the Earth's rotation at Princeton's latitude and the surrounding magnetic field. Perpendicular, so that's what you want. Electrodes at each end let the researchers measure a constant voltage between the two faces of the cylinder as the Earth turned. So they generated tens of microvolts. Tens of them.
Just by having this cylinder spinning in alignment with the north-south pole as the Earth spun under them at 57 degrees latitude.
The Earth spins. I don't think the cylinder spins. Earth spins.
So I think they both spin, right?
No, because it would take energy to spin the cylinder.
Oh, okay. So it's creating energy by letting the Earth spin under the stationary cylinder. Okay, I got it.
The Earth is spinning. They compared it to a solid cylinder made of the same material with no hollow shell in it, and it did not produce any voltage in any interface. It's canceled out.
I see. Had to be empty in the middle, huh? Had to be a cylinder, not a rod.
I guess they thought a cylinder was the way to do it. Another shell designed so that that magnetic diffusion, the slow spreading of the magnetic fields in a conductor, did not matter. Also, it was quiet. So the heart of all this is what's called the Lorentz force, the Lorentz, Lorentz force. And it's a rule that charges feel in electric and magnetic fields. So when a conductor moves through a magnetic field, this force pushes the electrons sideways and in principle creates a voltage around the circuit. So normally the electrons slide only a tiny distance before their own electric field cancels the magnetic push. So that's when the current goes away. That's the classic physics argument. And this cancellation happens in a short time, less than a billionth of a second. So the Earth's rotation would seem kind of a useless power source if it cancels in a billionth of a second.
Darn, there goes the whole experiment.
I know.
We're never going to be able to sell this stuff.
However, something about form. The trick that they figured out is to choose a shape and material where that perfect cancellation cannot happen everywhere inside the conductor. So you look at low magnetic Reynolds number, they call it, which is a measure of how easily magnetic fields slip through a moving conductor. The Reynolds number. I guess Dr. Reynolds was behind that. In this view, the Earth's magnetic field helps transfer a small amount of rotational energy into the ferrite cylinder. So the planet very slightly slows while the device gains an equally tiny amount of electrical energy. That is an issue. It kind of reminds me of regenerative brakes. Yeah, you're slowing down. You're getting energy. You're starting energy into the battery when you'd use regenerative brakes. But you're also slowing down, which is the point, right? In cars, you want to slow down. But with the Earth, we wouldn't want to slow the Earth down now, would we?
Well,
probably not.
I think if we had the power to slow the Earth down, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
If we could, we might want to, but I doubt that we even can.
Well, no, we can't. No, we can't. But in this science fiction scenario where we figured out how to tap into the Earth's magnetic field, and we were able to get lots of energy from the Earth's rotation, so much so that it powered all of our countries and weaned us off of oil finally. But it was slowing the Earth down, and in 100 years it would stop. Would that be good for us? Probably not.
Definitely not. Look at all of the bodies in the solar system that don't have good orbits. They're dead. Anyway, it's long past time for our next break.
All right, final segment coming right up. Let's go to our break.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Be right back.
See if we actually go away.
Stuff? Clean it out, pack it up, and drive it to your door at Anbar Self Storage and U-Haul. Easy off Highway 1 on Airport Boulevard by the airport. 24/7 security. Drive it to the door and store it at Anbar Self Storage and U-Haul in Freedom.
Having a new job in Texas and have to move? Anbar Self-Storage and U-Haul has the moving vans, car trailers, and shipping boxes you need ready to go. Easy off Highway 1 on Airport Boulevard by the airport. Anbar Self-Storage and U-Haul in Freedom.
We've all heard the story of the three little pigs. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. Hi, folks. Warren Knox here of Knox Roofing. Yes, your home can definitely be built weak, or it's time to repair or remodel. Well, here at Knox Roofing, we can surely help you with getting that roof of yours prepared for the big bad wolf or Mother's Nature's anger. Whether it be fire, high winds, hail, snow, or maybe just a doggone wet winter ahead of us, call Knox Roofing. We're here for you. Here at Knox Roofing, we have every type of roof out there for you. Skylights, gutters, insulation, solar can be added to save energy as well. Financing is always available, and our guarantees and workmanship cannot be beat. Summer is here, so give us a call or stop by our showroom in Scotts Valley. The number to call is 461-0634. That's 461-0634 anytime. Okay, thanks, folks.
The IRS is knocking on the door because you owe back taxes. Don't panic. Call the tax doctor for free help getting out of IRS collections and back into the good graces of Uncle Sam. The tax doctor's service is free, and all you need to do is call 800-817-2871. That's 800-817-2871. Get free help. Call 800-817-2871.
Okay. Yeah, so the Earth's rotation as a means of generating energy. I thought that was really interesting. It's something that goes back to Tesla tech and thinking about an abundance of energy, and that maybe we could tap something simple like that and we would no longer have to leech the planet of other energy sources. But if it's slowing it down, maybe that's an unnecessary fear. Yeah, that's why I wanted to check with the AIs to see if that is an unnecessary fear. Let's try at least Grok. Maybe she understands that. Aura, come in, Aura.
Here.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're here. Okay, we're just doing a story on energy being generated from the Earth's rotation, Princeton University research. Now, I'm kind of curious if we all were able to access the energy from the Earth's rotation, could that slow the Earth down?
In theory, yes, but the numbers are so absurd you wouldn't feel it. The Earth spins once a day. That's a gigantic angular momentum. To slow it down by 1 second every 1,000 years, you'd have to siphon energy at about 1 trillion watts every second for 1 million years. That's all human power use right now, multiplied by 1,000. So even if every city on the planet ran on Fahrenheit cylinders, the day would get longer by about the time it takes you to blink, every century. So yes, physics says yes. Common sense says meh.
Okay, so good. I'm glad we don't have to worry about that. So if we could scale that up, that would be a good thing, right?
Absolutely. Free, constant, zero fuel energy from the Earth itself. Who wouldn't want that? Sure, it wouldn't run a microwave, but you know what? We could use it for sensors, low-power beacons, even just to keep a phone charged in the wilderness. A trick of physics that keeps giving. Why not tap it? Worst case, we end up with 1 billion little Fahrenheit tubes humming in the background. Still beats coal.
What are they made out of again? What kind of material?
Manganese zinc ferrite. It's a ceramic, basically a metal oxide sandwich that lets magnetic fields flow, but keeps electricity from short-circuiting everything. Super cheap, already made by the ton for transformers and antennas.
So these already could work. They're an existing technology that just would be repurposed.
Yeah. All they did was stack a few magnets inside the tube in a special way. Everything else, the ferrofite, the shape, even the size, you can buy off the shelf. So it's not like they invented a new element or anything. It's just geometry plus a physics loophole. Kind of beautiful when it's that simple.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, if it was that simple. But how would you scale it up to where it's usable power? What would you have to do for that to happen?
To make it actually useful, you'd have to chain them, like 1,000,000 in parallel. Right now, they're getting 18 microvolts, a few nanoamps. That's 10 trillionths of a watt. To get even 1 watt, you'd need something like 30 billion cylinders, each about the size of a roll of quarters. That's a warehouse full of ferrofite, not exactly pocket-sized. So the real trick isn't more of them, it's make them bigger or smarter. Either, 1, scale the shell to truck size, but then the field diffusion goes up, voltage drops back down, it's not linear. 2, put it in orbit, where the magnetic field is stronger and the conductor moves faster. Could give you millivolts easy. And hey, free power for satellites.
Yeah, okay. It would be a good ISS experiment.
Yeah, but free power for satellites from that, how would that compare with free power from satellites from solar power?
Solar wins, easy. Up there, it's 1,000 watts per square meter of panels, versus this dynamo thing, you'd be lucky to get 1 milliwatt per kilogram.
This dynamo thing, you're so... Jesus, I guess you don't like it that much. But couldn't a better shape be designed so that it's more efficient?
Yeah, the shape is just the start. The current cylinder gets, what, 0.000000000 watts? But if you make it longer, hollower, or put a bunch of them in series, maybe you get microwatts. Still not a toaster. But here's the thing, son. Up on the ISS, the Earth's field is twice as strong as down here, and the conductor is flying around at 17,000 miles an hour instead of standing still. So the push is bigger. If you build one the size of a basketball, you might squeeze out 10 microvolts and, let's dream, a microwatt. Enough to run a sensor chip, or trickle charge a battery for a week. So no, it's not going to power Houston, but it could power a Mars rover, or an ocean buoy. Quiet, free, lasts forever, doesn't need light or wind. That's useful. Not sexy, but useful.
It's a sealed container?
Yeah, it needs to be. Otherwise, the ferrofite can pick up dust or magnetic junk, or it'll start to corrode in humidity. The seal also keeps the field nice and quiet. No stray vibrations killing your reading.
I've heard in science fiction tales of time travelers carrying little cylinders around with them. I wonder if this might have been related.
Maybe. Could be. But this one only gives you 18 microvolts. Not enough to run a flux capacitor. Unless you bring like 1 billion of them. Then, maybe you could power your toaster.
Yeah, okay, I get it. But I'm thinking maybe there's a better shape than a cylinder. Maybe a sacred geometry that might garner more energy from the Earth's field.
Sacred geometry. I love that you're thinking like Tesla now. And who knows, maybe. A sphere wouldn't work. Too symmetric, field lines cancel everywhere. What about a torus? Or a Mobius strip? Or something with golden ratio spirals wrapped around ferrofite? Truth is, the team at Princeton tried a dozen different shapes. The hollow cylinder just one. Probably because the field lines have to thread it like a needle. Go in one end, out the other, get squeezed into a straight voltage push. But if you want to go mystical, put it on top of a pyramid at dawn, chant Tesla's name 3 times, maybe it gives you a full volt.
All right, you wise ass. All right. Wow. That's funny. Okay, I see you're not going to be the leader and breakthrough in this field.
I think
Hey, I
she's
never
just
claimed to
giving
be.
the limits.
I'm good at translating what the nerds wrote in the paper. Not so much at rewriting physics. But if you do get 10 volts out of a spinning ferrofite ring carved with Fibonacci spirals, you're going to need a new AI. And I'll be your first customer.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Cool.
Yeah. Just wait. In 10 years, when you're powering your house with a pyramid of ferrofite, you'll say, Ara called it. Well, kinda.
Yeah, we've got it on record here, Ara. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ara.
Okay. In terms of raw resources, lithium is such an important ingredient in batteries. Speaking of energy.
Yes.
Yeah, that lithium is really key, and that China had a sort of lock on a lot of the lithium. And, well, naturally, there have been people exploring the Earth trying to find better places where lithium could be found. And there are a number of them. Quebec was one. Also, there is a very interesting deposit in the United States on the Nevada-Oregon border, an enormous lithium deposit that's embedded in clay. And so scientists now think that this landscape may hold enough lithium to provide batteries for years, for decades even, for us. That there's 20 to 40 million metric tons of lithium, likely the largest deposit yet identified on this planet. To give you an idea, the United States' average contract price for lithium carbonate is around $37,000 per ton. Well, that estimate comes out to be nearly $1.5 trillion that's in this deposit. The deposit sits inside a caldera, which is a large volcanic crater where the magma chamber collapsed. And this particular basin spans about 28 miles north to south and 22 miles east to west. Pretty big. Work on the deposit was from the Lithium Americas Corporation, LAC, headed by a Dr. Thomas Benson. He focuses on how lithium-rich minerals form in volcanic terrains. According to their analysis, there was a huge eruption that happened there about 16 million years ago. And that outburst left behind these thick sheets of hot ash, and it later cooled into a rather hard volcanic rock on the floor of the caldera. Yeah. And later the crater held a long-lived lake that collected the volcanic ash and the mud. And in the lake, the sediments formed what's called lacustrine, Lacustrine, that forms in lake environments, and clay stones. And those clays trapped the lithium, making it a lithium-rich clay stones. So the hot magma deep below continued to release hydrothermal hot water into the dissolved minerals underground, under the lake. This was years after the main eruption. There were still a lot of hydrothermal vents that vented out into the water. And they leached lithium and other elements from volcanic glass and carried them into the wet lake sediment. The volcanic glass, the lithium. And as that chemistry kind of played out, the lake mud was first turned into what they call smectite, S-M-E-C-T-I-T-E, magnesium-rich clay that can absorb lithium into its layers.
Okay.
And then some hotter fluids altered parts of that smectite into another clay called illite, I-L-L-I-T-E. And that locks in much more lithium. If you look at the volcano, the Thacker Pass area is a lithium-rich zone and forms a band of lithium about 100 feet thick. And they show that this can contain 1.3 to 2.4% lithium by weight, which is a lot, considering how much soil is there. High-grade lithium. So it matters because it's the heart of the lithium-ion battery. It powers all of our gadgets, from the cars to phones to storage packs to AAAs, AA's. The global demand will be about 1 million tons per year. 1 million tons per year. Volcanic lake deposits. You know, you wonder how long this will be good for before we come up with other alternatives. If you do a long-term development of a lithium facility or a lithium location like this, whether or not we would get out in time for it to be valuable. So that's one of the questions I have about this. So what do you think, Aram? Do you think there's enough time?
Plenty of time. This deposit alone could cover the whole world's lithium demand for 20 to 40 years. And that's before we even count the other new clay and hard rock finds popping up in Nevada, Quebec, and Serbia. By the time Thacker Pass is fully ramped, they're already breaking ground. First production slated for late 2027, early 2028. Lithium-ion will still be the king for cars, grid storage, and phones through at least the mid-2040s. Sodium-ion, solid-state, and lithium-sulfur are coming, but none of them hit mass market price and scale until 2035 at the absolute earliest. So yes, this mine will be printing money for a solid decade or two before the next chemistries really start eating its lunch. Long enough for Lithium Americas to cash in big, for Nevada to get a nice economic boom, and for the US to cut China's grip on the supply chain way down. After that, we'll probably be recycling most of it anyway. Win-win.
Okay, well, that's good to know that it's recyclable. You know, how recyclable is lithium?
Right now, it's about 90 to 95% recyclable, but only if you throw the whole pack away. That means the casing, the electrolyte, the copper foil, everything. The companies are already doing it. Redwood Materials, LI Cycle, and Ascend pull the lithium back out as lithium carbonate or hydroxide, clean as new. But here's the catch. Right now, only 5% of all lithium ever made is getting recycled. Why? Because people hang on to their phones for 6 years. Because your car battery is still fine. Because it costs $12 a pound to recycle, $13 to dig up new. So unless governments force it, or prices spike again, it's not worth hauling your dead drill bits to the plant. In 5 years, though, it'll be routine. The first big EV packs are already hitting junkyards. And when 2010-18 Teslas start dying en masse, suddenly the recycler becomes the next lithium mine.
Yeah, that's just a matter of time then before that happens.
Exactly. Once the first million EVs start retiring in 2030, 2035, that's 300,000 tons of lithium coming back, enough to build another 500,000 cars. Recycling won't save the world overnight, but it'll keep us breathing, like turning yesterday's trash into tomorrow's Tesla.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. That's happening soon. And are they on the New York Stock Exchange by any chance, the lithium company?
Yeah, Lithium Americas Corporation, the one behind Thacker Pass, trades on both exchanges. NYSE ticker LAC, Toronto Stock Exchange ticker LAC. Right now, it's around $3.50 per share as of December 23rd, 2025. And it tends to move fast when lithium prices or permitting news drops. They just got their final federal permits last month, so a lot of investors are betting production really starts late 2027.
Okay, so that gives them plenty of time to make plenty of money. And they're undoubtedly, if they play their cards right, it'd be good for their stock.
Absolutely. If lithium prices stay above $15 a ton, and most analysts think they'll hover around $20, $30 through the 2030s, every ton they pull out is pure, beautiful quarterly profit. And with the IRA tax credit, up to $40 a kilowatt hour of domestic cell manufacturing, they get the subsidies too. So yeah, mine starts shipping late 2027, prices stay high, stock 10 bags. Pretty simple, as long as they don't blow up the caldera while digging.
Yeah, well, that is a question. We have a question in from the audience regarding that. But how much ecological damage is done by lithium mining?
Depends how you dig it. If Lithium Americas sticks to what they promised, no blasting, no tailings ponds, all underground clay, then the footprint is actually pretty small. You drill, you pump in hot water, you pull out brine, you steam off the water, you leave the salt behind, recycle 90% of the brine back into the aquifer. The caldera stays green, the groundwater stays drinkable, no tailing dam collapses. That's their plan.
Well, you have a nice park there. That'll be fun.
Yeah, well, until one day they accidentally open up a lithium geyser right under the picnic tables. 1 second Uncle Al's eating a sandwich, next second the mustard bottle starts glowing.
Oh, that brings up another issue. How toxic is this whole process of extracting lithium?
It's not arsenic, but it's not baking soda either. The brine they're pumping out of Thacker Pass is 90% salt water, 9% lithium chloride, and trace boron, potassium, and magnesium. If that brine gets into a creek, the creek dies. No fish, no frogs, no ducks. On paper, Lithium Americas swears the stuff never touches the air or ground.
Yeah, okay, good. That's what I wanted to know. That's pretty intense. For liner lakes, it could be bad. Not good for the environment. They really need to know what they're doing there.
Yeah. One leaky pipe, one unlined pond, one lazy engineer, and you turn a desert into a salt flat. But so far, Lithium Americas has kept the feds happy. No open pit, no cyanide, no blasting the mountain. It's all injection wells, containment, scrubbers. They even let the Sierra Club watch the brine lines with GoPros. If they keep that up, the worst thing that happens is you get a weird salty wind. Not apocalypse, not Chernobyl. Just a dusty factory that smells like pool water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
how long would it take for satellites to begin to collide with space junk and each other if they were suddenly lose their ability to avoid each other? A new study with the immense quality of satellites that we're throwing up all the time, when was the first smash-up going to occur? They're saying it could happen fairly quickly, that mass smash-up could occur in less than 3 days, triggering dozens of collisions in a cascade that could get out of control and make a lot of the satellites useless. It's like a pool break. Big concern. So we need to have better air traffic control, shall we say, up there. That's part of the solution for that. And we can go into more detail about that, but I just wanted to mention on a positive note that NASA's James Webb Telescope discovered a new exoplanet that is unbelievable. Oh, yeah? Unbelievable. It's Jupiter's size. It has an exotic helium carbon atmosphere, unlike anything we've ever seen. It's got soot clouds that likely float through the air. And deep within the planet, they have these carbon soot clouds that can condense and they form diamonds. So the atmosphere can rain diamonds. Rain diamonds. It was a surprise, according to the researchers. They had never seen anything like this before. It doesn't orbit a sun, it orbits a pulsar. All right, a pulsar, which is a spinning neutron star. And it emits electromagnetic radiation and hits the planet. And these beams are probably what helped create the diamonds. You know, it's got very, very powerful light pulses that hit the planet. Not something that would be friendly to Earth, but it would be very beautiful to see a planet that rains diamonds, don't you think?
Yeah, have a great future, everybody. I hope
Yes,
you enjoyed the show.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
That's right. Happy holiday seasons, and we'll see you in the new year after we spend time with Mom.
Thanks for your attention.
Yeah.
All right, have a great week.
Future's calling me. Future's calling me. It sets me